Welcome to Science Magazine. Cybersecurity means protecting computer system, networks, devices and data from digital threats like attacks, damage and unauthorized access using technologies, processes and best practices to ensure data confidentiality, integrity and availability for individuals, business and critical infrastructure. To know more, listen to an interview with Mr. Tarun Wig, cyber and data security expert and co-founder and CEO, Innefu Labs. Interviewer is Mr. Kaushik Roy.
It's indeed a pleasure to have you in the studios. Today we have with us Tarun Wig, co-founder of Innefu Labs. He's self-made entrepreneur and business executive with a decade-long outstanding track record in building, growing and leading high-performing startups in India. He is involved with many research-oriented information security groups and is a developer of niche and innovative cybersecurity solutions, including two-factor authentication, open source intelligence, link analysis with pattern matching, fuzzy logic, social media monitoring, email encryption, etc. He is an electronics and communication engineer by training, and he has consulted for multiple organizations such as the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Home Affairs, state police departments such as the Jammu and Kashmir Police and the Delhi Police. He is also an original thinker and has been featured along with eminent entrepreneurs like Vishnu Dusad and R.S. Pawar in the book Make the Move. Thank you, Tarunji, for joining us in the studios today.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you with us. First of all, your organization, Innefu Labs, it's a unique name. So can you tell us what exactly it means?
So when we started Innefu way back in 2010, we were being very cocky. So we named it for India's next future.
That's wonderful. And what are the fields that Innefu and you are involved in?
So Innefu is essentially an AI-driven company in the field of national and cybersecurity. We are a de facto leader in the space that we work in. In fact, at one point of time, when most of the government officers, I'm assuming you may have been using the NIC email ID as well. So you would have been using an application called Kavach, log into your email ID.
Right.
So Kavach is actually our application which we white labeled and gave to NIC. So Innefu uses AI from a perspective of national and cybersecurity. We use generative AI to make sense of, for defense and intelligence organizations. We work extensively with them. We work with police departments using AI to carry out predictive intelligence, and we also work with revenue intelligence organizations to basically identify frauds in GST or income tax department. So those are the verticals that we work in, using AI to augment our capabilities.
And we all know that AI is going to be the next big thing, and along with OpenAI, of course. And it also poses many challenges, as we know today that there is a big, discussion going on regarding cybersecurity. We see so many, especially elderly people, falling prey to scamsters and all
Digital
that.
arrests.
So what kind of challenges do you think that this bunch of AI and other things are going to bring in? And how do we take them head on?
Every technological revolution brings with its own set of advantages and disadvantages.
Right.
Internet itself, brings itself with its own set of advantages and disadvantages, child pornography and so on and everything. AI has changed the landscape of technology today. What is happening is, using AI, criminals are able to carry out deepfake videos, deepfake, audios. I may be giving you a call and you may think that the call is coming from the president of US. That's what AI can actually do. And a lot of people are falling prey to it. People have inherent fears of authorities, of anything. And these scamsters are using our inherent fears of law enforcement agencies to basically carry out scams like digital arrest, where it would be an AI generated video or an audio, and I would think it's a genuine officer and would end up doing things which are not normal to me. Having said that, while AI brings out its own set of challenges, it also brings out solutions. The volume of data in the world today, if we churn it using AI, I can assure you that these scamsters will have no place to hide. Like, for instance, we talk about digital scams, where ultimately every scam has to be connected to a flow of money, with AI and the volume of data which is digitized today, we are in a position to make sure that no gaps or no black spots are available anywhere. You are able to figure out which accounts are, involved in money laundering, scam activities, drug trafficking, and so on. And you can keep profiling them and build your network of suspects. So AI can offer that advantages as well.
Tarun, one thing, when you said that you began Innefu and started working with different organizations about a decade back, in the year 2020, the entire world witnessed the
COVID
pandemic. And it was a turning point for us, for Indians especially, when, digitization came in a big way. Here, of course, the world was fighting the pandemic, but at the same time, we were all at home using our computers, our laptops, our phones, working, paying our utility bills, buying vegetables or whatever, everything. So do you think that that kind of digitization, has pitchforked India into the top elite league of nations who are using digitization and other kinds of technology?
So I would agree to that the pandemic, or even before that, since the current government has come into, they have initiated a lot of policies in terms of digital India, startup India, make in India policies, right? I think one thing that this government realizes more than probably any government since our independence is that if we lose from the industrial revolution, right now it's a technological revolution. If we lose out on this as well, we would never become a developed country. I'll give you two simple facts, right? Let's talk about India pre-2014. We were a service industry. We had TCS, we had Infosys, Wipro, L&T, all of them were doing services. So they were essentially putting manpower abroad and charging money. So it was a service business. We were buying products from abroad, like routers, antivirus, switches, operating system. Everything was coming from abroad, right? And we were importing it. This government realized that if we do not have our own products, we would always become developing nation. We would always be dependent upon buying stuff from out. So they made a huge push in India becoming, or trying to become self-reliant in this space. So that, and India, while I agree that we are among possibly the top 20-30 countries in the world in terms of using, or digitizing the information that is available with us, or trying to use IT to make lives of people better, I still believe there's a lot of work that needs to be done or can be done.
And what is your take on the government's mission semiconductor? Because you rightly mentioned that about just till before 2014, every little chip on the phone or in the watch that used to come from abroad, but our own chips, which, going to be even sleeker or thinner than a potato wafer. And do you think that would be kind of a game changer?
Oh, it would be a huge game changer, because that gives you a building block on which your entire IT revolution stands. Our computers, servers, everything ultimately depends upon the chips that we are importing from outside, from Taiwan or China. So the government has realized that not just the software but also the hardware has to be indigenously developed up to the lowest level possible. Because with the way the situation in the world is today, you can never be sure of the supply chain. Tomorrow somebody may say that we will not supply chips to India, and our entire IT revolution will come to a halt.
And can you, Tarun, tell us about the work that you do with the different, because today, apart from cybersecurity, national security is also of supreme importance. And what are the kind of work that you do, and what are the challenges you see in this domain in the coming years?
So predominantly the work that we do with all the intelligence and defense agencies or predictive policing is based on an intelligence fusion center. That's our flagship product. See, today what happens, every organization in the world is getting data from multiple sensors. You have so many data coming from open source intelligence. You have data coming from your own field officers. Let's talk about a police department. They have FIRs. They have, criminals that they arrest, the profiles of criminals that they arrest. They have information coming from other agencies. They bust narcotic networks, money laundering networks, so the bank statements, telecom. Huge volumes of data. There is no correlation between that. And the intelligence fusion center that we deploy in organization is essentially supposed to correlate and bring everything together, and then subsequently identify those patterns, and using AI build networks which cannot be seen with naked eye. And the intelligence fusion center, the biggest power of intelligence fusion center is that today something which used to be done by an officer, maybe he would take 7 to 10 days to do that, or maybe 30 days, can be done in less than 30 minutes. So that's how the intelligence fusion center, using generative AI, has changed the landscape for law enforcement, defense and intelligence agencies.
Another thing is that since India is a huge country, there are so so many states, union territories, there also been talk, of cohesion between different agencies for better workflow, better control of crime, better to adapt new technologies, especially where money is involved. Because what we now see is that some person falls prey to some financial scam, the first thing, the money is distributed. And we have also seen that many people have been arrested, and then you see that the money has been distributed among X number of people. So how does it happen?
So today, what happens is, if I'm a scamster, right, the criminals are also becoming smarter. So they understand that today, even in gangs, what they would do is they would get people from, let's say, people from UP will coordinate with a gang in Haryana, get them to do a crime and go back to Haryana, and vice versa, right? Because first, the coordination between two states becomes difficult. To identify those people who have come from outside, done the crime and then vanished, it also becomes difficult. So this is coordination between criminals which is happening. When we talk about laundering of money, what they do is they will go and buy an account. So somebody in a village has opened a bank account under the Jan Dhan Yojana. So they would go to him, they will say, we'll give you 50,000 rupees. Your account now belongs to us. So they will take his checkbook, they will take his debit card and everything and pay him some money. That guy will open the account in some other bank. And these people will basically keep that account dormant. And when they do a major scam, they will basically route the money into accounts like this and then subsequently take it off and everything. The solution to this problem, as I've been emphasizing at the highest levels, that when you open a bank account, you are supposed to submit KYC documents.
Right.
Why don't we have a central KYC registry where every time somebody opens an account, his photograph is getting validated. And if previous account, which I may have opened in the past, has been used for money laundering activities, or it's in the list of blacklisted accounts, then I should not be allowed to open a new account. So that is a very simple solution to that, but it requires coordination between different agencies. At the ministerial level, I think they have understood that despite us being such a diverse country, we really need to have certain systems in place which are uniform across all the states, which can help everyone fight these menace of cybercrime.
You mentioned something very interesting, that as time passes, even the criminals or the gangsters are getting smarter. So how do people like you, who have solutions to all these complex issues, how do you keep step ahead of these criminal minds?
Well, I keep telling my entire company, all the youngsters, that it's a Tom and Jerry game. It's a cat and mouse game, right?
True.
You have to stay ahead of the technical curve. Sometimes you'll make a move forward. The criminals will also understand that this is how the law enforcement agency is tracking them. They will change their modus operandi, and then you have to change your tools and technologies to stay ahead. But it will always remain as a cat and mouse game.
And do you see new challenges emerging, as because we are already into the first 25 years of the century, and what do you think are going to be the emerging challenges?
So this century is going to, what I honestly believe is that this century will shape pretty much the destiny of humankind, because you have, with AI, you have a lot of advantages. People have been identifying metals which had never been created till now. Using AI, they have been able to identify the composition of such metals which have never been created. AI is creating medicines, or has the potential to create medicines which can cure a lot of diseases, for which medicines are not available. Having said that, AI is also going to bring its own set of challenges. Today, I can create a video of, let us say, a political leader saying something negative about a particular community and populate it all over social media in the next half an hour to 1 hour. Something as simple as that, me sitting on a computer, creating a deepfake video, populating it across social media platforms in the next 1 hour, can lead to riots.
Yes,
can lead to riots between different communities. It can lead to so much of loss of money and lives. So how we use AI and how we are able to control the usage of AI, specifically in terms of only for the good and not for the bad, will really define or shape the future of mankind. That's what I honestly believe.
And also, if you look at the world of AI, it's so huge, it's so unique. And then also we have international challenges. It's just not restricted to the confines of our own country, because this is something, with technology that is now available. In a moment, the information can be sent across nations also. So what are the issues that do you like to flag on this?
You are aware of the fact that in the US elections, China as well as Russia, both of them had played massive roles, which have come out in the investigation as well. They had been promoting a particular narrative, both China as well as Russia. In the Indian elections, which took place in 2024, there was a huge social media narrative, which was actually being promoted from external countries. So people were funneling huge amount of money to promote a particular narrative. So, this is a major problem problem with digitization or a connected world. One of the things that we have to understand is that issues in one part of the world are impacting another part of the world very, very quickly, unlike in the past, right? Something which has happened in Bangladesh has created a problem for India because so many migrants are now moving across from Bangladesh into India because they don't have right living conditions there. Similarly, in terms of Myanmar, right, the Rohingya Muslims, they moved into different parts of the country. So all of those issues now happening in different countries are impacting the neighboring countries as far and varied as US. What we need to realize at this point of time, or to solve these issues, is that we have to look at how AI can actually be used for the betterment. AI can be used to create humanoids which can clear your sewage, garbage, which can help us clean the environment. Today there are technologies available by which we are able to generate more oxygen than maybe 10 trees. So all those things put together, the technology can help us provide the solutions to the problems that exist. At the same time, it will also generate new problems, in case we misuse it.
And on that note, Tarun, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your valuable experience in the world of cybersecurity and AI. And as you rightly mentioned, AI and cybersecurity professionals like you always have to be ahead of the curve to tackle the challenges that emerge. Thank you so much for sparing your time and talking to Akash.
Thank you so much.
You were listening to an interview on cybersecurity and challenges. Expert in studio was Mr. Tarun Wig, cyber and data security expert and co-founder and CEO Innefu Labs. Interviewer was Mr. Kaushik Roy and narrated by Kamal Kishore and produced by Dilip Jha. This broadcast came to you from Indraprastha channel of Akashvani Delhi.